America's trade war ramps up. The cost of buying a car is expected to rise, with President Trump's 25% levy on imported auto parts kicking in today. But there's hope of some relief on the way when it comes to Trump's primary target, China, now saying it's, quote, evaluating trade talks with the United States. Senior White House correspondent Selina Wang joins me right now with more. Selina, thank you for joining us. We're almost 4 weeks into the president's 90-day pause on most tariffs. Lots of talk so far, but no deals announced. Where do things stand with China?
Yeah, Ike, that's exactly right. I mean, the clock is ticking down for those 90 days. And when it comes to China, for the first time, we're starting to get inklings that negotiations could potentially start, with Beijing putting out this statement saying that they're evaluating the opportunity to talk to the U.S. after they say U.S. officials reached out, quote, multiple times. So they're making very clear in the statement that it's the U.S. coming to them, not the other way around. But what experts tell me is that this does signal a softening of tone from Beijing. But look, this could still be a very lengthy and difficult process, with Beijing insisting that those steep 145% tariffs on Chinese goods have to be removed, insisting on that. So that is a very difficult precondition to reach. But when it comes to deals with other countries, the Trump administration has talked about positive signs and talks coming from certain countries like Japan and South Korea. But the bottom line here is that not a single trade deal has been announced, and it's unclear what happens at the end of the 90-day deadline, if those so-called reciprocal tariffs go back into place, or, as the president has suggested, if he's simply going to choose and set a tariff rate.
Now, Trump is also closing a trade loophole. What impact will that have?
Yes, this has a sweeping impact. Think about all of the goods that we buy from Chinese retailers like Shein and Temu. So what this does is that goods valued at $800 or less, they're no longer going to be able to enter this country duty-free as they were able to before. That impacts millions of packages coming into the U.S. every day. So they'll now be subject to a 120% tariff or a $100 package fee. So this really disrupts the business models of Shein and Temu, who had both said before that prices are going to be going up because of this global trading rule change. But now Temu is saying that it's actually adjusting its business model because of this. Temu says that they've stopped shipping products directly from China to customers in the U.S., that instead all of its orders will be shipped from local warehouses here in the U.S. So this is their way of trying to get around these very steep tariffs.
Now, Selina, in the meantime, we're also seeing some strong reaction from NPR and PBS, the president's executive order to block their funding. But does the president actually have that authority here?
Well, Ike, this executive order basically says block the funding to NPR and PBS at the maximum extent that the law will allow. Now, it's actually Congress's job to allocate funding to these public broadcasters, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is saying that Congress is the one that directly funded and authorized them. So they are a nonprofit corporation wholly independent of the federal government. They say this is not part of the president's purview. However, there is a bill that is making its way through Congress that tries to defund NPR and PBS. It's unclear, though, if that would get the necessary support in Congress, even with Republicans in control of both chambers. But for now, the reaction that we're seeing from lawmakers is pretty much split along party lines, with Republicans in support, Democrats outraged.
All right, Selina Wang, thank you for your reporting.